Hello, this is Don Anders, and welcome to the Florida Retirement System podcast. I'm here with Alex Dingman, our fictional about-to-be retiree, and we're going over his pension options.
Hey, I really appreciate you walking me through from the beginning when I first started my fictitious career as a firefighter to now being this hardened veteran looking at retirement.
Exactly. Now, we talked about option one. Let's get into pension option two.
Okay.
And, pension option two is basically your life, and then you buy a 10-year term policy. So meaning the day that you retire, you have your pensions covered for 10 years for whoever you want. So the nice thing about that option is you can leave it to a spouse, you can leave it to your kids, you can leave it to your dogs, you can leave it to whomever you'd like. So, with that, you have a 10-year term policy, and the reduction's not that big, 2, 3, 4%. Okay?
Okay.
So here's what I hate about pension option 2. It's a 10-year term policy. Every single month, it's 120 payments that's guaranteeing for your beneficiaries from the time you retire, which, by the way, if you enter drop, you retire the day you enter drop, not the day you exit.
Okay.
So if you go through, let's say you go through 60 months of drop, you retire, and then you pass away, unfortunately, and then you have your spouse or whoever it is, your dog, would have 60 months worth of your pension that would come to them.
Okay.
Then it's gone.
Wow.
If you live 119 months, they get 1 month worth of your pension. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And you might say, but it's a term, it's not that expensive. Well, think about this. That reduction that you take, let's say it's a $50 reduction. If you live 15, 20, 25 years, you are still paying for that 10-year term policy after it has lapsed. Could you imagine if I sold you a life insurance policy and I said, hey, this is going to last for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to decrease in value every single year. And then after it's up, you have to keep paying it.
Man, sign me up for that.
No one would ever take that option, but yet people go into it all the time because they only see a small decrease. My recommendation is just go buy your own 10-year term policy. Just go in, buy a 10-year term policy. It's going to be about the same amount of money, or even if it's a little bit more, it goes away after the 10 years, and it's a level benefit. If you pass away one day before the 10 years is up, they get the full benefit instead of one check.
Yeah.
So it's in my opinion, it doesn't really make sense. And if you say, well, I can't qualify for life insurance, I'm too sick, well, maybe it's time to look at the investment plan, because that might be telling you something. So just something to think about. I don't like to give a lot of advice on these things. It's more informational, but
Yeah.
I have a real hard time figuring out why option 2 would be a benefit as opposed to just buying a life insurance policy. It's the most expensive with the least amount of benefit life insurance I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, and again, it comes down to education. A lot of these things we've gone through on prior episodes, they kind of all connect together. All these decisions that you make, the first decision you make, it might dictate what you do down the road, third and fourth. So it's just good to have an overall education before you do any of these things and kind of seeing maybe where you're going and how all these things connect.
Well, yeah. And so you're absolutely right. And a lot of people, they'll say, oh, well, it's only $40. Why wouldn't I take that?
Yeah.
But it's $40 for the rest of your life for a benefit that does not last. So if you picked it, you probably picked it because, it's not that big of a deal when you look at the actual amount, in your opinion. But, man, there's a lot better options out there if you don't mind getting pricked and getting some blood drawn and actually doing it yourself and getting your own term policy. It'll be so much cheaper and such a better benefit for the rest of your life.
Outstanding. Thank you for that, Don. We're halfway through our pension options.
All right, thanks. The purpose of this podcast is for educational purposes only. If you want more information, more education, please visit www.frsdrop.com. And that's our webpage where you can download more information. You can register for one of our webinars. You can even request an appointment for our team. And let me stress, this is education and information. Recommendations are for clients. They're for people that we actually meet with. And if you'd like to meet with us, we work all throughout the state of Florida. We'd love to do that, and you can also do that on that website. So once again, www.frsdrop.com. And one last thing before we go, this is a serial podcast. So meaning it's going to be about 15 episodes explaining the FAR retirement system. But please make sure that you subscribe, because if there's any types of updates or anything pertinent to your retirement, we're going to update it on this podcast. There might end up being multiple updates that would be very important to you. So make sure you subscribe, because then you'll get an alert that there's a new episode. Also, if you have someone that would benefit from this, someone that you work with, someone that you know that's in the FAR retirement system, please consider sharing this with them, and please consider giving us a 5-star review.
Don Anders is an investment advisor representative and insurance professional, helping individuals create financial strategies using a variety of investment and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Insurance and annuity product guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. We are not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agencies. Securities and advisory services offered through Madison Avenue Securities, LLC, member FINRA SIPC, and a registered investment advisor. Madison Avenue Securities and Don Anders are not affiliated companies.